make believe. No one belongs to anything. I've seen the lies. I've seen the lies. I've seen the lies. Train go by. It's kill or be killed. I wonder who lives.
Good morning, everybody. It is a stormy Tuesday morning here in beautiful Kerrville, Texas. We're live from the Peterson Health Digital Studio at Pine Plow Brewing Company, and no one's here. Everyone's on vacation, apparently. They're all gone. Oh, here she is. Julie Davis is coming. Janelle Peralt is here. They just storm in. They're stormy. Oh, sorry. Just undo that, and they've just arrived. Look at that. Just wherever you want to sit. Sit right there. It's a beautiful morning. Unbelievable. So happy you're both here. It's about time.
Well, there's some peaky driving things going on out
Is there?
Is there? Yeah, I mean, there's a guy with 22 feet of gutters, and then he pulls over real fast because they're starting. I'm like, don't impale me. I've got places to be.
Don't do it. Don't. We have things to do.
Keep your gutters to yourself, man.
Yeah, whatever it is. I was like, okay, that could
That's
be
funny.
really bad on a
That'd not be
slick
good.
road day.
Not
right?
be good. Oh my goodness! It's a stormy morning,
It is.
and that was not expected, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
You
good.
know,
I didn't think so.
I was starting to wonder though, because I was just looking at the National Weather Service forecast for the morning, and they don't say anything really about this storm. There is a pretty good sized storm to the west of us here,
Yeah.
just outside of Junction.
I looked that up when
And,
it looked called cloudy here.
It was like there's not much going on as far as. So I'm like, is this a sign of the cuts that were made to the National Weather Service now? I mean, can we trust them? That's where I get most. Like, people will look at the Apple app and it's useless. It's like,
Yeah.
it's never right.
yeah.
And so I was like, well, maybe this is where we're starting to run into some issues now, because this was not necessarily in the forecast this morning, and it's been thundery for quite a while now, about a couple hours, I think. So it's about maybe 7:30 or so. So
Well, if it's not predicted,
that's right. It didn't happen. It didn't
then
happen.
sometimes that's what the surprise rain.
That's right.
Is what we're really good at.
It's,
in the Hill
it's really good. We're at the surprise rain. Happy Tuesday morning to you, June 3rd, 2025. Tomorrow is June 4th, and I have friends who have birthdays tomorrow. One will turn 55, one will turn 54. And it was interesting because we were all in the same grade together, and in the first grade, true story, it was also our teacher's birthday on June 4th. So it was a party. We had a party.
That was a blowout first
That
grade.
was a blowout. It was already
And because you're in the West Coast, you were still in school.
Yeah, I know. We went to school until mid-June.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, so, and we went to school in mid-June because we didn't have air conditioning those days.
Well, we started after Labor Day.
Started after Labor Day. Yeah, you're right.
So if you started after Labor Day,
yeah,
you got to go to the middle of June.
California was, they started basically after Admission Day, which was like September 9th, I think, when they started. Yeah.
Way after Labor Day.
Yeah, so it was, that was for the longest time, and then they got rid of that, so. But we were going,
happy early birthday to your buddies.
I know. They're the ones that came out. They're the ones that came out to
for the eclipse?
For the eclipse, right.
Nice.
Yeah, and the one who's turned 55 was having his birthday party this weekend, and I was supposed to go out to it, but I can't find a flight that gets, like when I start looking at flights anymore, it's
Do you
like,
usually wait till a couple days before?
no, I
feel like you knew this was coming before
I did.
today.
I did, but I looked a few weeks ago, and it was
Okay.
super expensive.
Yeah.
It was like $750 round trip. And
Is that out of San Antonio and
no,
Austin?
that was out of Austin. I don't even
Wow.
want to look at San Antonio. So, well, and then they had the one like Spirit, Frontier, like, oh, it's $285 round trip. And you look at that, it's like, it's 25 hours of flying time.
Yeah. You have a day layover somewhere. Yeah.
You're stuck somewhere in the airport but my friend, Rob, who's turned 55, he reminded me yesterday, he goes, I was stuck in the airport in Dallas for 30 hours.
So you owe him.
He's like, you owe me. And I'm like,
Just jump in your car.
Yeah, I know. I probably could.
That'd be the same as flying on Spirit.
I know. It'd be the same. Well, actually more comfortable.
Yeah.
So, and better snacks.
Exactly.
And cheaper.
Exactly.
Cheaper,
Stretch your legs.
Bigger bathrooms.
Yeah. And
all of it.
The Honda Odyssey minivan, when it gets going at 85 miles an hour on the Interstate 10 heading west, it just cruises. It's just,
Nice. I suggest you just road trip
I
it.
know.
You're still young.
I do, my sister won't travel. So, the FaceTime iPad, it's just fun.
It's just fun.
She wants you just to
She doesn't want.
FaceTime.
She wants. Yeah.
We'll just put her in the room with Alice gabbing away, and
Yeah.
occasionally she
They
makes
won't
a
have
sound.
snacks you can eat anyway. Just FaceTime.
Yeah, it's unfortunate though because Rob's neighbor, who's a friend as well, he's a good cook, and so it's always like an interesting. It's always an interesting time to go hang
So
out.
you'd miss the snacks.
I
They
miss
would
the
have
snacks.
your sarcasm, but
Yeah.
you would miss the snacks.
Yeah, right. I miss the food. So there you
It
go.
could be a compromise.
Happy birthday to everybody. You guys, yesterday, you're going to have to endure this for a little bit. It was
Okay.
newsy yesterday. I was running yesterday.
You're working on
Like a
Monday.
runner?
Yeah. It was crazy yesterday. It was a day of nonstop news because the commissioners court had like 5 hours of meetings.
They had a lot of meetings
They had
yesterday.
a budget meeting, and then they had that 2:00 train wreck meeting about the animal shelter, which they got nothing done at. They got nothing decided on that as well. And then also the legislature wrapped up its year yesterday, and there was a ton out of that, and then there was a ton out of then the city released the 2050 plan update. So there was that. That's available. So I don't know. The newsletter this morning, it might have 6,000 words in it. It might be epic. You might just have to read it on the browser versus reading it in your email
I got
deal.
through it fine.
You got through it fine? No problem whatsoever. So there's a lot of stuff in there today to talk about. The biggest thing to talk about is the animal shelter controversy that will not go away. And they had a special meeting yesterday where they decided nothing. Nothing got decided. And I went back and I looked at this again, and I was like, am I crazy on this project or what? And I'm not crazy on this project. And Ann Overby got up. She was the former Precinct 1 commissioner. She was the one that replaced Harley Ballou. Now, remember that the commissioner's court has not really been in favor of this animal shelter at all. It's been a begrudging project that the voters, foisted upon them. They put it on the ballot. They're the ones that picked the money to put on the ballot. They're the ones that said, this is what we can afford based on the recommendations of a capital improvement project group that was pretty good. It was a kind of a blue ribbon panel, really. You look at the people who were on it: Fred Haneke, Bobby Templeton, Brenda Hughes, Chris from Broken Arrow, Chris Hughes from Broken. Yeah, Chris Hughes is on it. What's his name from on the school board in the hospital? Pete Calderon was on it as well. It was a blue ribbon panel. And they came back with these recommendations, right? And one of them was, and that was immediately met with like hostility and skepticism from, it's like, well, why in the hell did you guys appoint these guys in the first place? But the biggest thing was the animal shelter was inappropriate. It's built in a house. It's big, a house in like a garage, and they shoved all the animal shelter stuff into it. And for a community of our size, it's not really appropriate anymore. And they're euthanizing lots of animals. And, I was just looking back. So it was November of 2019, they had the big town hall meeting, which is still the largest public meeting I've seen yet here in Kirk County. And everyone got together and everyone was upset about the animal shelter. And that's when KPA was formed, essentially to support the animal shelter's mission, which their mission is basically to control animals and rabies. That's it. Not a shelter. They don't do adoptions. They don't do any of that kind of stuff. And there was some real adamant people, including Harley Ballou and some others who were like, that's just an animal shelter. We don't want to have none of that good old-fashioned adoption stuff in there. Put those critters down. But they got this thing through, and they got it on the ballot in 2022, and then the county sat on it for a long time. And they knew they were going to build it in the floodplain, and then then FEMA was like, well, we got to look at this, this, and this, and this. And so they knew this site was going to be problematic. So they probably should have looked at some other solutions, but they didn't really have any other solutions or land to do it at. Subsequently, the voters rejected any improvements to the Hill Country Youth Event Center, specifically the Ag Barn, and to expanding the county's campus on Earl Garrett and on Main Street and Sidney Baker, and they had a property at 550 Earl Garrett that they were working on. The voters rejected all of that stuff resoundingly, but they approved the animal shelter. And now you get to the point where the animal shelter from day one was undervalued and over budget from the start. And they don't want to dip into the reserve funds, even though they have a pretty healthy amount of money in the bank to do this. They want to cut stuff. And at one point yesterday, it was pretty clear they didn't have enough money to even really finish the project that they had planned. They made it clear, like, we don't know that we can even open this plant with the money that we have. And it was surreal. And Jeff Holt was talking about bringing in extra money, bringing in like all the old furniture. And that's really fun. You build a new building and bring all your crap in from the old place. And that's what happened. Who's that? Oh,
Doug.
Doug.
Arrived.
Doug has arrived. Doug is on scene. You just interrupted my spiel.
Mm-hmm. He's spieling
right now. It's all good, though, Doug. Thanks for being here.
Mm-hmm. He's talking about animal shelter.
Animal shelter. Mm-hmm. The animal shelter. You have an animal shelter at your house, Doug, that speaks a different language. So anyway, so they got in this discussion yesterday about how to do this, and they really came up with no solutions. And predictably, the usual cast of suspects spoke. Those in favor of the animal shelter, those opposed to the animal shelter. The people who are opposed to the animal shelter had no ideas. And KPA, which is trying to build its own sort of campus to do its work, which is adoptions and helping out with animals subsequently, was like, well, we're still here to help. We're not going to give you, $700,000 that you need. That's what I think the county wants. They want $700,000 from Criminal Pets Alive. Criminal Pets Alive is like, you know what? No, we want our own facility to do our own thing in. And so it was weird. And here's the deal. The voters voted to get an animal shelter. And Judge Rob Kelly said it best yesterday. He's like, look, this is the plan we showed them. Here it is. And they didn't ask for this and this and this, but they voted for this. And it's a really nice looking building and it has kennels in it. At some point, they never put kennels in the budget. That's a whole other thing, right? There was Fred Henneke got up and he was really mad. And he said things like, you guys are calling people liars. And Tom Jones got upset about that. But essentially, they may not have said it implicitly, or explicitly, but they implied that Peter Lewis, they didn't defend Peter Lewis at the last Commissioner's Court meeting, who's the architect on the project. They didn't defend him from attacks from certain people who will not be named because we just don't want to spell their name out. And that was what happened. So they didn't do that. Fred Henneke got up and he was pretty upset about it. He's like, get this done. Why is this so hard? And so, but at the end of the day, an hour and a half long meeting, nothing happened. So there you go. And then, Julie, I was so tired from that meeting, I had to take a nap.
Good for you.
I had to take a nap. I
feel like I need a nap just after this story.
I know.
Hey, those of us that have survived projects and construction, it almost should have been a litmus test for those involved.
I know, right? I mean, it was like, and the county doesn't build stuff. That's the other thing too, is that they don't work. Go, turn on.
Turn on our screen things too. We just have the little icons.
We have icons.
Oh, okay.
We have a desktop.
Oh, there's there you go.
There's Janelle. She's so pretty.
That wasn't very pretty, but okay.
Yeah, it was.
You're very well lit this morning.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Doug, how are you though? By the way,
I'm recovering. I wasn't here last week because I don't know what the word is. Developed or contracted shingles, whatever the.
What?
Oh no!
No.
You had the shingles.
I was contagious last week, so I didn't. Figured I'd save you guys from that.
Holy smokes!
How
That's
are you
awful.
feeling though?
I feel fine, except for it attacks your nerves.
Yeah.
And it got it on my scalp and this whole left side of my head and all that, and my ear is just.
Oh, that's awful. Doug.
Killing me. So,
I'm
PSA.
sorry. Get the shingle shot.
Get the shingle shot. It is way better than this.
I got the shingle shot, by the way, and let me tell you that.
Did you get the improved one or the non-improved?
I think I told you that story. I got one, and then I was like, "Did that go through my arm? Did it go all the way through?
Yeah.
Oh my god!"
Well, was it the improved one or the non? Because I don't want that one.
Because it does. Yeah, if you're under 60, the better one you're not covered. You have to write a check.
Yeah,
That's why I asked the question is like, did you get the one that's the one the more recommended one?
I have no idea.
And if so, how much was your check?
I have no idea because I need
to talk to Janelle after this. I'm supposed to get one.
I need to get the second one.
I want the better one.
There's one that's recommended. So I'm like, okay, Doc, throw that in the mix.
Yeah, there's two of them actually, and I need to get the second one, and I haven't done it yet. And
anyway,
Doug, I'm sorry.
Doug, I'm sorry about that. That's horrible.
I've been suffering with this for 3 weeks now.
Ooh.
Yeah, and they say it's 3 to 5 weeks. So gosh, I'm hoping I'm on that downwards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, finish line is in sight.
It's hard to sleep, and it's a virus, so you're already kind of fatigued anyways. And then you sleep well,
and there's just like nothing to do.
Man, that's terrible.
And
Are you bathing in Benadryl? Does that help? Is there any kind of anti-itch burn?
I am.
Nothing helps, right?
I don't. As far as I know, I'm one of those non-medicine guys. Though I took what they told me I had to take, is 10 days worth of whatever. So I did that, but other than that, I don't take anything. I just let the body do the work. And life is suffering, and I just embrace it.
Did you
embrace the suck, man?
I mean, some people it's severe. I knew a woman who it was before she was 40 had it, and it knocked her out of work for like 3 weeks. It was so bad, so painful.
I didn't have a lot of the blister thingies, but the pain thingy hasn't receded at all for 3 years. So,
Doug.
So anyway,
these are battle wounds.
Your PSA is.
That's why I wasn't here last week.
Yeah.
It's my PSA. Go get the damn shot.
But
We're going to do some research about
way better than
you
this.
named your dinosaur.
Yes, we did. We named the dinosaur. We had lots. I want to say 350 or something slips of paper. And then so we went through. There was quite a few repeats. Obviously, I love Bob. Bob was somebody's. I thought that was great, but we didn't pick that one. But anyway, so we picked the top 3, and they threw it on Facebook, and then the community voted, and Gibosaurus is his name.
Gibosaurus.
That's what he
Very
named.
appropriate.
There's only one guy that threw that up there. And
Gibosaurus.
Really? All right.
And
like Gibbs from NCIS. Oh, Gib. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, right.
I figured it out finally. I'm not that bright.
G-Rex was the next popular. G-Rex.
Oh my gosh.
G-Rex,
So I mean that's not a bad name at all.
Yeah. So anyway, that's where we are with that, and
Gibosaurus is getting his shingle shot, right?
Yeah, get that shingle shot.
He's young.
He's a youngster.
Yeah, get
He's
that
only,
shingle shot now.
6 million years old.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
He's still a youngster.
Okay, so we had that's big news. Doug, get your shingle shot, please. I mean, it's not pleasant.
Do it for yourself.
But do it for yourself. I mean, I'd rather have the shot than have that.
Oh yeah, man. Because the shot only sucks for a day or two. This has been 3 weeks.
Oh my god!
And you can just get those at the grocery store. Right?
Yeah, you can go to HEB and get them done.
At a pharmacy or
pharmacy. They'll take care of
have
it.
them
Yeah,
and see how many.
Don't wait on it either. I felt like if I waited.
It would turn
Y'all are
out
giving me so much anxiety because the doctor told me to get one this year and I didn't.
Just go
Get
do
it,
it,
now
man.
I'm like,
get it done.
Just go do it.
Yeah,
Get
if
it
it
done.
takes too long, it'll end up like the animal shelter.
Yeah, right. A mess.
it's true. It's true.
Nothing's happening.
Nothing is happening. And then they had, before the animal shelter discussion, they had a budget meeting, and there was some interesting things at the budget meeting too. There was, let me look at my notes here for you guys so you can look at that. They have rising costs, and surprise, surprise, the Dieter Center had to go ask for some money because their funds got cut. So they are dealing with some of that as well. The biggest thing is a jump in medical insurance. They had an 8.2% jump in medical insurance premiums, an 8.3% increase in dental coverage for employees.
When have we not had that?
Yeah. Commissioner will pay an additional $330,000 annually if they maintain their current policy, absorbing the full cost increase. Officials discussed shifting some costs to employees who covered dependents as a potential solution. We're exploring our options to manage these rising healthcare costs, said Human Resource Manager Sylvia Zapata. She also recommended reducing the employee waiting period from 60 days to 30 days, which is a more modern approach to HR. Some places do it right on the day. Get there. That's a huge perk for a lot of.
That's folks. A lot of paperwork.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Not many people that do that.
Yeah.
As someone who's had to do it.
Yeah.
And then they leave in a week and you're like,
do you do it on the day? Do you do it on the day they start, or do you make them wait 30 days?
Who are you asking?
You.
60.
60 days.
It was 90
It
until
was
they made
90.
us switch it to 60.
Yeah.
You got to show me you're committing.
What about you, Doug?
We're small to do all that paperwork.
You know what? I don't really know for sure. I have an HR department, so I don't deal with that level of detail.
Yeah.
It's either 30 or 60.
30 to 60 days,
It's not
right.
90, yeah.
And then
I don't think you're allowed to do 90 anymore.
Yeah.
yeah, I think 60 days is now the norm. But 30 days, I've been in
I
several
could see
places.
30. I
Yeah.
could see doing 30.
30 is where most people are at now.
Yeah.
I've been, though, increasingly number of places that do it on day one.
Yeah.
So,
Which is really cool. I just think for a small place. It's hard.
As
because
rural as we are, that's
yeah.
serious.
They discussed the juvenile probation facility and how to do with it. It's very expensive to take care of this. There's a story there that I need to look at more fully on that as well. But there's some interesting things there. So I see a little error in my story too. I have this little little error. I always catch little errors. that help.
That's the way it goes.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. The next day, like what? This is not good. All right, and then the 2050 plan got released.
Yeah.
So that was good. The recommendations are basically continue to build on the attractiveness of the Guadalupe River and some other things too. That's going to be reviewed next Tuesday by the P&Z, and then it goes to the city council as well. Have you had a chance to look at it at all?
I haven't had a chance to look at it at all.
Oh my gosh.
Getting ready for my board meeting. I have budget. I'm working on budget.
Are you working on
that's
budget?
what my
Do you have to
brain
make
is.
your budget to the council, or do you have to have yours approved by anybody? For your
First,
board?
I have to present it to the board, which we'll do Wednesday, and go through it and make edits if they have edits. And then I send it to the city, and then we'll have a presentation in July. And it's a very long process. But step one is the board giving me a little check mark.
A check mark. Hot
it has to
tax
be done this month.
is soft right now, right?
Yeah.
What do you anticipate from hot tax?
Man, that is a $1 million question, literally.
Yeah. One of your board members is sitting here, by the way, too.
Yeah.
So he's listening.
Yeah.
I'm
Anticipation.
shifted into neutral, baby.
We have done our part. I need the economy to do its part, is what it comes down to.
Yeah.
So it is soft. I anticipate it to remain that way. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that I'm wrong and we see a shift sooner. But it's just such a conundrum right now.
Yeah.
We are still seeing the same number of people according to the cell phone data, but they're not spending as much and they're not staying as long. And so, from a CVB perspective of marketing and getting people here, we're doing that. We're doing that correctly, but I can't expand their pocketbook. I can't expand their confidence or any of those things so that they stay longer or spend more money.
Yeah.
Or spend the same amount of money, not even more money.
Right.
And so that you'll see the dip in the sales tax or the flatness of it too. They live together. They're hand in hand.
Right.
And so it impacts multiple pieces of our budget, which is why, we're always talking about how important tourism is because it lifts a lot of other things, not just hot tax. But
Well, let me add, if I may, some interesting things that I've had in my business in the last couple of weeks that weren't before. So everyone's got a number of listings, but I had one in particular that was very clean, recent construction, totally scalable, lovely property, under 500. This is like a no-brainer. That's what people come to Curva for. Few light showings, little bit of open house, not much going on. Of course, the 401ks were taking their roller coaster ride with, policies and tariffs and all that other thing going on. Just before Memorial Day, in that run, 3 sets of buyers in town. All of a sudden, the showings picked up. Multiple offers on the property last week, and now we're under contract. It's like there was this whole pause and delay.
Yeah.
And, you can go back and I could burn a whole afternoon. When did it actually recover? How long did confidence take? When did they schedule their short-term rental hotel?
Yeah.
All the things that go into distilling down to what's back. But I was teasing with my seller a little bit, about time right. She's like, at the beginning, I was devastated.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting the expected love.
Yeah.
You know, like, what is it? Like, what's happening?
What am I, chopped liver?
And I'm like, and here we are. And then 30 days later, it snapped just to expectations.
And tourism has been very similar to that in that, like, the problem is industry wide, and you can't find the rhyme or reason. Like, 1 month you're like, okay, that wasn't so good. And then the next month it'll go up. And so that's very hard on your businesses, your hoteliers, everyone, because they can't even plan because the month before was really slow. So they're anticipating a slow, and then it's not a slow. And then
after 30
you prep
years,
for that, you know, and so, but all of the industry stuff that comes out from, you know, whether it's Airbnb or key data sources or whatever, all is kind of calling it to be a little bit flat.
Yeah.
So that's what we'll plan for, and you know, on the inside, hope for the better than flat, right?
Then
I'm gonna cross my fingers.
Right.
That in April, we took the hit on the scary road. Like, you can mess with interest rates, or you can mess with the stock market.
Right.
You don't get, but like that causes problems.
A positive for Kerrville,
and now we're doing well,
is being rural and affordable. So if people took a hit on their 401k or where it is, and now they're like, oh, maybe we shouldn't go to Cabo this year, whatever it is, at the end of the day, they start to have pent up demand and they want to do something. And so we become a very viable option because we're something they could do and not, you know, not break the bank.
they can drive here.
So
they don't have to fly to California.
I wish I had a crystal ball.
Yeah, I think that theory is in line with what we're seeing as well, because last month we're back up to target.
See,
and
for May. We don't know where we are until it's in the rearview mirror.
Yes,
exactly.
And April was
because we track it. Obviously, we track it daily. We have tons of figures, but to put it all together is tough. So looking at it for the month, we actually hit our targets for the month this month for the first time since February.
And that was my experience from May, then part of May as well. So we don't know
So
where we are until it's in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, it feels like we're on the cusp, though, of things kind of, we're calling it a stabilizing.
Yeah,
that's what we call it too.
Yeah, we're not growing yet.
Well, because it was such a high increase there for a while that we knew we couldn't maintain.
Yeah, you can't maintain that. Yeah.
And then, you know, so now hopefully we're in the stabilization phase. We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, the good news today, it's very good. It's very good. I mean, the good news is the markets are up a little bit today. So, I mean, they're flat this morning. So, you know, that's good news. You've done the whole economic thing that we love here on the lead. So
the boiled down version, it's not the most fun to do your budget when the climate's like this.
And over
because
30
everything
years
else has gone up.
It's never like in 30 years here, and all the business I've been involved with, you can go back to the same weekend in a year before. It does not walk and move like a duck. It will burn you every time. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mondays, everyone goes out to eat some years, but then Thursdays other. Whole. It's very hard to gather trends to plan for.
The trend is that we just don't know. It's very unpredictable right now. So, but we know that we can go to Gibson's Discount Center
and get things.
And get things.
Spend some money.
You want to see a cool thing you can get?
Not yet. No, wait.
Wait.
We still have more to talk about.
I'm excited. I want to show you this cool stuff.
News.
I've got more news. By the way, I did make a mistake in the newsletter today. The Animal Services building is not being built at 550 Earl Garrett. That is another building that the county is building. And it highlighted the error that I just found, highlights a problem, though.
With AI.
Yeah, well, that's one of the problems is it's not so much with the AI. It is a problem with AI because when it interprets the speech, it sometimes makes mistakes. In fact, it'll call one of you guys something else like Doug Hetz or Doug. It cannot do LZeth to save its life.
You can't get LZeth.
No.
Not trained in South Africa.
No, not trained in Afrikaans. No. But it does highlight the fact that the county's spending $310,000 on a property that the voters rejected. So $300,000 on that property to open up some area, some space that the voters said no to, and they're worrying about the animal shelter. So that does highlight an issue that I need to go back and look at in tomorrow's newsletter. But going back to the 2050 plan, here were the priorities that kind of came out of this as well. Controlled growth. I'm sure all of you are hearing this. That people really want to see. They strongly support keeping Kerrville small while managing development pressures. Housing affordability continues to be a top priority. I don't know how those seem to be kind of not balanced right there. But downtown revitalization is important. There's a small area plan for downtown. And this came up in the last council meeting too, where the Main Street Advisory Board said, hey, we want to hire a manager. We want to do all this kind of good stuff to highlight downtown. The Guadalupe River remains a central focus and protecting that for residents. And then obviously targeting infrastructure on water and transportation, making sure our roads are in good shape. Shockingly, people still want trails and bike lanes, much to the horror of We the People Liberty in Action, which wants to pave all that stuff off. So that was the 2050 plan as well. Were you on the original 2050 plan stuff, Julie
I was
Davis?
here.
Did you serve on any of the committees?
I did not. Charlie did.
Oh my God! Really? What happened with that?
That was
Like,
who.
I say nothing.
Charlie Mack was in charge.
Charlie Mack was in charge.
What was his role?
You get plausible
I was-
deniability.
I was maintaining the fort.
You're maintaining the fort.
That's right.
Okay, that's all the news and notes we have for now. What about stuff and things, Julie
Okay.
Davis? We have
Is there
stuff and
anything
things?
going on in this town?
Oh my gosh, there's 95 things this
Boring.
week.
95
Nothing
things.
to do.
Yeah, right.
Nothing to do. Nothing to do. Let me scroll to the top of all the things. Okay, Folk Festival's still going on. We had some tickets we wanted to give away on Saturday. Did Leslie talk to you about that?
No, she didn't.
Okay, she was
we can
put
do
in
it.
charge of that, so
We can
sorry
do it.
about
We
that.
can do it.
Okay, I believe they're Saturday. I have them put
If she
to the
did,
side.
if she did, I forgot.
Okay, I'll remind her. So sometime this week, the lead is going to give away 4 tickets
Yes.
to Saturday. Okay. Kerrville Folks Festival still going on. All right, 42nd annual roundup at the Museum of Western Art. This is your last week to go check that out. Easy on the Eyes exhibit at the Hill Country Arts Foundation, and then Kurtz Cultural Center has the 3 different exhibits going on. Tonight is Nature Nights at Riverside Nature Center. This one looks fun. During the summer, they have a series of nature nights that they do for the kiddos. This one is Cougars, Deer, Coyotes, Oh My. So learn about the hill country mammals with the Texas Parks and Wildlife biologist. So that's pretty cool. Let's see, library book sale tomorrow. Shriner Mansion tours on Thursday. The exhibits we already talked about. The Sprouts reading program is on Thursday at 10:30 at Riverside Nature Center. Hill Country Cowboy Camp meeting is ongoing over in the West Kerr area as well. That happens every year. One-on-one with a naturalist on the 6th at the Nature Center. The Nature Center is busy this week.
Yeah, they are.
Live music, the happy hour or live music on deck at Arcadia Live Theater at 7 on the 6th. Neil Diamond, Jack Wright's National Touring Neil Diamond Act will be here. Neil Diamond Superstar. This weekend as well. There's multiple showings of that, so lots of chances for you to get to go see it. The Play That Goes Wrong hits the Hill Country Arts Foundation stage this weekend too and runs through the 21st. Kerr County Market Days. On Saturday, Kerrville Shriner Park and the city of Kerrville have a community day out there on the 7th. It's free to go, and I think the kayaking and all of that is included. Bird Walk and Talk on the 7th. The farmers market, 2 farmers markets on Saturday, one in downtown and one over at 5 Points. Antiques Extravaganza, Time to Treasure Hunt at the Youth Event Center on the 7th. Let's see, Wiener Dog Races.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
epic.
I know. At Lockenfelder on the 7th.
Oh, that's what Leslie's very excited about that, by the way.
Yeah.
She's very
I'm trying to
excited.
figure that out. I won't be here, so someone has to go tell me how they work this. Okay. Crider's Rodeo. We talked about the plays and Neil Diamond. Live music over at Tail Tracers, the Inn of the Hills. So lots of great stuff. There's an art camp going on. So, yeah. KerrvilleCrafted.com. Go find all these things.
By the way, if you're a fan of baseball, which I am,
Okay.
this is a big weekend coming for you guys. It is UTSA.
Yeah.
They stunned Texas, not once, but twice.
That's amazing.
Now they head to LA to face UCLA in the Super Regionals. First time ever for Super Regional play for the mighty Roadrunners, and with
Good
a
for
chance,
them.
if they win, they go to the College World Series. So
That's cool.
That would be a big accomplishment for UTSA.
Yeah.
I mean, and they stunned Texas on Texas was number 1 seed too, by the way.
Yeah.
And they got Texas in the first game, and then they beat them handily in the second game.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. So that's this week. Also, Texas and Texas Tech will play in the College Softball World Series starting tomorrow.
Okay.
And we talked about this a little bit yesterday. Texas Tech's standout player, Niger, Canada. I get it right at some point. Canada. She is a pitcher, and she got $1 million to play for Texas Tech. Yes. So, and she's got them in the College World Series. So, power to her.
No kidding.
And they beat OU, Oklahoma, which is the 4-time defending national champions, to get there. So, go Red Raiders, I guess. So, we made fun of the Red Raiders last week during the city council meeting, and we got a lot of blowback from that. So I guess we'll have to go. I don't know who do you root for in that. I mean, this divides Kerrville mightily. Red Raiders or Longhorns? Is there? What do you think there's more of in this town? Red Raider fans.
I'd say slightly.
Texas fans.
Really?
A&M. There's a lot of A&M people here.
Yeah, you didn't throw that in there.
Yeah.
You're right.
I know many of all groups though.
I know.
A&M.
I feel like there's more A&M, but between Tech and Longhorns, I just feel like I know more Tech people.
Yeah. A&M was the number
But
1
I don't
overall
know. It
seed.
could be a three-way tie there.
And they got beat in the first round. So they got stunned by Liberty. So they were knocked out. So A&M choked it away. But Texas and Texas Tech, that's going to be tough.
Yeah.
We want the kids to have amazing fanship. That's what we
that's
want.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And so if they have to throw down in town.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Speaking of throwing down, Gibson Discount Center throws down every day with great deals, great prices. What do you got for us today?
Brought you some cool stuff.
Yes, you did.
Down here. That's noisy. Slippers, man.
Oh,
Slippers.
nice. It's time for slippers.
Everybody needs
Yeah.
slippers.
Slippers.
Ooh, those look like.
And they're all tangled up.
Oh, I'm getting ahead. I was going to ruin your presentation.
Don't do it. Don't do it. How
I was
about
seeing things that.
Lewis? You know,
I like
we
that he
need
called
to-
them slippers.
We need to slip on some slippers.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm all
Those look
tangled
like
up here.
splash.
Oh,
I was
my.
like, I don't feel like those are slippers. But
What in the hell are those?
those bananas.
Those
They're
are
bananas.
wraps.
Banana flip-flops?
Wow.
Yeah, and you can feel them. They're kind of like the same material as Crocs, but
Yeah.
lighter. They're
Okay.
lighter.
Okay.
These float. There's no question.
Oh yeah, they float.
These-
It looks like you can
100%.
walk on stuff with
Yeah,
they
for
look
like-
like they're like snowshoes.
Pool deck or whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bananas.
How about
Nice.
this one? Little baby seals.
Those look like splash pad.
Oh,
I saw
nice.
those that
Right.
came out of the bag, and I'm like,
Little
those
baby
are.
seals.
Don't burn your feet, kids.
Boy, if you cut your foot on that, that'd look really horrific.
Called banana split
If
yellow.
somebody would hit you with a bat.
You want flip-flops?
Those are flotation devices.
Yeah, let me see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Show Janelle those.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw them first.
baby
I was like,
seals?
yes,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
very cute. That's why I was like, those look like splash pad shoes.
She's like, I'm good.
It's fun.
Oh, yeah.
wow. Wait.
Mushrooms, little
Yeah.
like Mario.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's you can't see because my stupid hand is in the way, but
Oh, okay.
They are.
They have
I don't
little,
know.
little
there's
face
a little
on.
face
Now he
on
broke the
them.
hanger.
Pretty cute.
Would you buy those for John?
No.
What about on your trip?
No.
You could
Maybe
go
so.
Nemo.
We got Nemo.
Might get him some Nemo ones.
Oh.
It might
You
have
could go-
gotten
you
to
could
what
go
I would
Nemo.
get.
Nemo, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Where I can
Yeah,
never
you're
get this
right.
game.
You're there.
You're there.
Okay,
You're there.
yeah. And then one more. You have to sing the
Oh,
Baby
yeah.
Shark song.
There you go.
Oh, baby shark. Baby shark. Baby shark. Is that how it
Nice.
goes?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
these are all I don't know.
Are you blowing those out?
Less than $20.
Those are great for the
Nice. Oh, and those
splash
have
pad.
like little air conditioning on the bottom.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Well, that's for water too.
Yeah.
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 So
You can just go right to the splash pad.
That's right.
I think the splash pad is
Yeah.
hilarious.
So I mean, you know, every time I'm coming to the show and I'm like, oh, what should I take over there? And I was like, I'm spoiled for choice. I have so many different.
Yeah, those are cool. Those
Doug,
are fun.
how's the overall selection right now?
I'm not sure I totally understand your question.
No, the
quantity or
overalls.
quality or
No, do you have Carhartt overalls?
Coveralls.
we have them.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, we have.
I
them.
saw
for
a guy wearing overalls at the folk festival. It made me remind me of
Oh, that you need to go get some.
I should get a
Yeah, we
Okay.
have the.
Clifton Pfeiffer wears them all the time.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
We have the brown like duck fabric stuff. We have those. We
Those
have-
do feel warm for summertime.
Yeah, I agree with you. And then we do have blue jean ones, and then we
Okay.
have the pinstripe like the train conductor.
Oh,
style. We
man,
have
they
those.
got selection.
Choo choo. What else is coming on for summer? How was your event, by the way? Did Patrick cook? What happened?
yeah.
It was great.
It was good. Yeah.
Julie, you were there.
I did.
Julie went.
I
What'd
went.
you have? What kind of food was there?
It was pulled pork, right?
Yeah, a little pulled pork slider.
How would you judge it? Did you judge it? Did you?
It was delicious.
She didn't
I gave it a
officially
10.
judge.
When you
It was
judge
great.
stuff, do
Not
you?
only was it great, he was so friendly and nice, standing out there giving it away.
Yeah.
Could not. He was there since midnight, and I could not get him to go home.
And he was encouraging everyone to fill out the little slips.
Yep.
He's a good guy,
and,
Patrick.
yeah.
Did he? Now, when you do your judging, though, do you have like a little notepad, like a little notebook that you keep? You know, like.
You have a sheet that you turn in.
She has a ruler.
But
She
do you
just
have
smacks
like your
people's fingers.
own? You're like your own notes. Like you
I
have-
do not.
We,
No.
we should get you one of those. That'd be
Okay.
cool.
Yeah.
You know, you could have
My own
read.
little
You could have your own little diary.
Won't
of-
do me any good because
Okay.
you don't know who you're judging. But
Yes.
What was it?
contestant 872934.
It was there one time though. It was so funny. Like Patrick was there cooking one time, and people were like, they didn't know they could take it. They were like,
Yeah.
"It's free." Like what? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had to basically stop everyone and
You guys
be
want-
like, "Here,
And
get
offer.
some."
people were like, It's funny how people are with food sometimes. You know, some people are like, "Oh, all right,
Yeah.
free food."
What
You
else
know?
was there? I just ate some of the pulled.
There was some beans.
That's what
barbecue
it was.
beans. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
And then inside we had root beer float.
That's right.
How did that? What
That
did
was
you
very popular.
did you? What was the root beer you decided on there?
Preacher.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was very good because it's kind of like Barks. You know, it's got a little bite to
A
it.
little bite to it, yeah.
And then that with the ice cream was very popular. Yeah, it was good.
Do you get any sugar-free sodas there?
Say it
Yeah.
again.
Do you get any sugar-free
Yeah.
sodas?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we have sugar-free candy, sugar-free soda.
They got you
Can't bring
covered.
any of that fun stuff anymore because Mr. Diabetic.
I know.
feel
Mr.
bad.
Celiac, diabetic.
You got to bring the sugar-free version.
One
Yeah, I guess.
one
Yeah,
foot in the grave as well. You guys are heading into, is summer the busiest time of the year for you guys outside of Christmas or what?
It swells and fluctuates, you know, just like Memorial Day is always good. And then just before you go back to school, it's good. And it dies completely when school starts because everybody's trying to rearrange their lives, you
Yeah.
know, and then
And they spend all their money on school
on
stuff.
school supplies, yeah.
And filling out paperwork.
Yeah, exactly. And then it ramps back up, you know, through October, November,
Right.
Hunting season, yeah, I bet.
Hunting season as well.
and then, yeah, the store sells so much stuff that there's always something
It's true.
Yeah.
going somewhere. Yeah, so
I'm sorry you didn't bring Elzeth with you today. What's up with
she's
that?
very busy.
She's got
They-
summer camp,
they
right?
do-
Summer
They get
camp,
it.
Did
yeah.
they ever find enough employees over there?
She's still looking.
Still looking for people, huh?
Childcare type job.
Man.
Here, she's still looking.
Isn't it? It's frustrating because
I think she could. I'm just speaking out of turn here because I don't know the numbers correct. She could probably hire like 3 or 4 people,
but they
because
can't.
of the demand that they have for
Yeah.
kids. They just can't take more because they don't have the staff.
They don't have the staff, right?
Yeah.
That's the hard part about
State
it.
regulated, so they can't
Yeah.
just go like, we'll wing it.
You can't just bring somebody off the street. So there you go. What's going on in the real estate market today?
Well, today it's raining, so we'll see how
Yeah.
that goes. But we'll talk to some new sellers.
Green
but we have
grass.
a new listing on Murda. Super cool.
On
so check it
Murda?
out. Mm-hmm.
By the way,
Hardwood floors and all that. Yeah.
Gilbert and Andrew weren't aware that you had moved to your new facility, and then I showed them your house, your new little
Office?
Yeah, we're still. They were there putting in part of the
Here it
kitchen
is right here.
yesterday, so we're getting closer.
So they were very excited for you.
Yeah, well, things went down with Andrew that I didn't feel like I was going to go down there and knock on the door just yet.
Yeah. But now he was here yesterday, so
I saw that.
they're never gonna get over what happened, unfortunately. But he was in good spirits yesterday. I was so happy to see him yesterday. So
Yeah, so when I get the contractor stuff under,
I guess you're the same
they can
contractor.
come down. Yeah.
So
Yep. And so when I'll have them down when.
are you gonna have a big open
you're
house
ready,
party?
ready.
I mean, look at this place.
It's like I would
adorable.
love Barnett. The parking doesn't allow me to, and I could probably hold 20 plus people
Right.
fairly comfortably. I don't know what I would do with 20 cars on Barnett.
Right.
So it'll have to ebb and flow a little bit. But yeah, no, I'm excited for people to start coming by to say
Just
hi.
come
And
knock on
I
our
have
door.
clients that have been both places now, and they're like, "Oh, we like it." And I'm like, "Yeah." And one day there'll be like coffee here because I don't
Coffee.
have my counter yet to
Right.
put my thing.
Was it a difficult decision to put a new office in? How did you get to that point to putting a new office?
Well, Julie will remember.
Yeah.
I got kicked out of my starter office after 18 years.
Oh no. No.
Yeah. So the landlord decided they needed the building.
It wasn't real
And-
difficult.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was just so easy. Easy button. So the landlord needed the building. His building is in disrepair. He needs more space. It's very expensive to do that. So he said, guys, I need my building. So start looking. So it wasn't on my radar to go plunge into that. But then when I started shopping, it was very clear very quickly that I wasn't really satisfied with what choices were available for rent, for who I am and how I am and how
it's
I
hard
my
right
business.
now.
And so I said, okay, I'll just get something doll up a little bit, and landed on the biggest fixer money pit Kerrville had to offer. But I decided to live on that building.
I just love hearing her live the realtor. She's a realtor living, a buyer's life right now.
And I do that in general. And so I was like, I try to keep everything very lean. So having multiple projects roaring at the same time, knowing I was going to be out of the country, nonetheless, just keep stacking it.
Yeah. Just keep done.
Keep putting it up.
Wait a minute. You're going out of the country too?
She was.
Oh, you were
She
out of the
already
country.
did it.
All right.
Yeah. Some of the fixing that was supposed to be happening that wasn't happening, that was sort of happening.
Yeah. You were in Rome.
My absence was we were going to be ready to go when I got back, and that never happened.
That must have been the thing that finally sent you over. Is like the Holy Father's has blessed you now on this deal.
I think that I was incredibly blessed by the circumstances that fell at my feet for all that to happen, and I still think it was thrilling and exciting, and I don't take that lightly, knowing that I'm a person who plans and organizes and tries really hard at everything all the time, and that had nothing to do with anything I had done. That just everything came together, and I was at the right place at the right time.
Now there was some big news in your household the other day. Your Frenchie husband.
Yes, there was.
He was very
we watched
excited.
The Champions League final, and
now wait a minute. Now, before you married him, did you care about soccer?
Well, I grew up in Portland, Oregon.
So they were soccer,
and Timbers were a thing even back when I was a kid. I had, an uncle that had the scarf and played rec, and didn't play for them. But I'm just saying, the Timbers Army. Was around.
What is their history then on the Timbers? Were they like an old club then?
There were every single, as I understand it, every single league that formed and tried to do professional soccer at one time, mind you,
failed.
I was in elementary school when they got this up and going. They have maintained the Timbers name, brand through every rendition that ever came along.
Yeah.
So, which from my marketing brain says that's brilliant, because then you've got built-in brand and fanship all the way through. So we were aware of that, and the Timbers Army experience is a very unique thing. It gets lots of commentary. It makes it a lot of fun. It's what I would I've never been to an actual Premier League game in England, but those people live and die stuff, hardcore, those teams.
Yeah.
So, longer story, longer, I had that coming. And then my husband came along and watched lots of different things and was an Arsenal fan because of Thierry Henry and some other things. And so the kids came, soccer is very vibrant in Kerrville, Texas. So we did rec, we did club. I had one that was a college player. So we've dialed it in all the way along. And PSG is Paris Saint-Germain, and they made it to the Champions League's final. They played against Inter Milan, and to me, this is a preview of the World Cup that's coming next year. Every 4 years of the World Cup, and every time there's a star born that you never knew of.
Yeah. The World Cup will be here in the U.S.
Yeah, so France won in 2018 the World Cup, and I enjoyed J.J. Watt going, Mbappe, he's so fast. We're all having this, worldwide experience with who these little beginners are coming out blowing it up. So PSG beat Inter Milan 5-0. Whipped them, which was a big deal, which is also good for the harmony in my household. We're very happy about that. And there are a couple of 19-years-olds out there just bringing it. I'm like, see, World Cup's coming. These are the kind of guys that will splash out and make their thing. Inter Milan fans, older men, teenage, tears,
weeping.
I mean, these people live and breathe this stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
By their teams at super high levels. And so you see you see people that pulling their shirts off that had no business doing that, and then you see tears over here, and you see all So it was a fun thing. So I'm I bought you a jersey once. Why don't you go put it on?
Yeah, he put it on. Yeah, and he was all excited.
Yeah, and then he's like, all right.
Does he love all? So is he like a Wemby fan too? Is he an Mbappe fan? Is he?
Well, because he
Tony Parker,
the French national team will, that he's going to watch that.
Yeah.
And we would love to see USA do it, and we just keep bouncing off the bottom.
Yeah.
So
right.
Maybe one day in our lifetime, because we're like, okay, they're going to get Liverpool sick. These, okay, they're going to, and it just doesn't. So he goes back to, the French national team and LA Le Bleu. And, we got jerseys with 2 stars on them now.
I think eventually, I have to believe eventually the U.S. is going to win a World Cup in the men's side. But because I think that you're seeing there is a shift happening, but I mean, it's got
a long way to go.
As long as football in the U.S. is still the number one sport, I mean, this is the thing, like I always say, folks, like you look at some of these NFL guys, and the speed that's available in the U.S., like
the athleticism is still going to football.
Right.
Although Tim Howard said when he chose to be a goalie, 2 basketball coaches cried tears when they got because everyone's jockeying for that super athletic specimen.
But Odell Beckham Jr., one of the great receivers of all time, he's apparently a terrific soccer player, and he chose football. So I mean, you look at these guys who play, the
Kobe
speed.
Bryant wanted to play, and he wasn't good enough, so he went to basketball.
Right, because he was 6'8", or 6'7", so. What's weird is like Usain Bolt loved to play soccer too, and just isn't designed for the way the sport's
the
built.
Technical part of it, technical stuff is. I don't know. Yeah. I wasn't gifted with amazing athleticism to figure all these things out. Yeah. But anyway, and back to JJ Watt. His team got promoted back to the Prem for the fall. Yeah. So they were relegated. And I'm here to tell you that Jerry Jones would die a hard death if promotion and relegation happened to football.
Yeah, happened to football.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. I'm for it, actually.
I'm for it, too, but the dollars would not work.
The dollars would not work.
And so for people listening that don't know what the heck we're talking about.
Yeah, this has been a great foreign conversation.
Okay, so in the soccer league, the Premiership, and many of the other ones, imagine if in the NBA or the NFL, every year at the end of the season, the bottom 3 teams get relegated to the 2nd division.
Okay.
And the top 3 teams from the 2nd get promoted up to the top.
Think about it as almost like how baseball is, where they have AAA and like if you had that sort of thing, it's happening. Well, and what's interesting is that there's a lot of pressure on MLS. Doesn't have relegation. They don't,
and they're trying to grow those second teams. And to that point, like Raheem Sterling, who is an amazing player that's played for a bunch of different teams, they signed his 9-year-old today to which soccer academy he'll be going to. He'll be going to the Arsenal Academy.
Yeah.
The U.S. has a long way to go before 9-year-olds are picking academies to go become a finished product.
Right.
Like in the conversation about how long it's going to take, it's going to take that long.
Take a long time. The other one that's fascinating, this has been a great soccer conversation. Doug is ready to go off.
He's ready to go. Promotion, relegation.
He was like, will banana shoes work on the soccer field?
This is a conversation, though, that Elzeth would love, though. So
she's not a big soccer fan.
No, but she would jump in there and say, field hockey needs to be in the deal.
Don't get her started on field
hockey.
Yeah. Well, there are lots of sports that, are regional, and
Sure.
lacrosse is really big on the East Coast.
Oh,
not so much here. There are pockets of different.
The sport that I think is cool is still rugby. I'm like, let's bring it. We've learned a lot today. My first ever professional sports event that I attended, I believe, was a California surf soccer game in the old NASL. And that was the North American Soccer League that they played at Anaheim Stadium, which is was home of the Angels, and was being converted into the Rams' home. So it was like 1978, I think. So I was my first ever sporting event. Did you ever have a first ever sporting event you ever went to? Professional Spurs. How old were you?
I was an adult.
You were an adult?
Yeah.
Doug, what about you?
My parents didn't spend money.
Daytona 500.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Right, 10 years old.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. What about you, Janelle?
I think it was the Portland Trailblazers, and I wasn't tiny, but I was still a minor. You were
a little kid.
I mean, you have to look at where, like, you grew up here. The closest thing you could possibly get to
in the same way
the
that my kids got to go to Spurs games and things through, like the YMCA basketball camp and the rest of it. I used to do the March of Dimes walkathons to raise money.
Yeah.
Right.
And the Blazers would come out, and my 9-year-old 3 strides was good for one of their guards. So trying to, because we just loved them. And so you would get tickets maybe in that way.
Yeah.
Right.
To go to an event.
Well, that's what I was just saying.
Because
like,
my parents were not like,
proximity of
let me
what's
just
available.
We'll just write giant checks for your little snotty note.
Right.
No.
I just remember seeing being on the field one time for a USC bowl game, and I was about 21, and I'd actually competed against some of the guys on the USC team at the time in track, and I was like, so I knew who some of those guys were, and I was like, oh, they're not any bigger than I am, and I know that guy's not as fast as I am. I can run that. I can beat that. I beat that guy in 100 meters. But then Willie McGinnis walked by, and I was like, yeah, there's no way I'd ever play this sport. My God. Because he was a Hall of Fame guy, played for the New England Patriots for a while, and he was like the largest human being I've ever seen, and he was defensive end. And it was like, oh my God, can you imagine him falling on you? It was terrifying. And then I met a guy who was an NFL Rookie of the Year for the Patriots, and he had the largest hands I'd ever seen of any human being ever. And I'm like, how would you ever possibly fumble the football? Because there's just, Willie McGinnis is going to hit you. You know, that's how you fumble the football. So it's always fascinating to see those guys in person as well. All right. Doug, what did you learn today?
I learned about relegation in sports. I didn't know that.
It's something that can actually happen in the U.S. There's a lot of discussion about this in college.
There's no team owner that's going to let it happen.
No,
Yeah, probably not.
but in college sports, there is a serious discussion about it, because how do you deal with Division I and Division II? You know, we were talking about this earlier. Like Texas Tech spent $1 million for a pitcher, you know, in women's softball. How does another smaller Division I program compete against that? How does Texas even compete
It's
against
like La
that?
Liga. There's Barcelona and Real Madrid, and then a bunch of other towns they have to go play into, like the two giant dominant, and then everybody else.
Right. And if you ever watch the Ryan Reynolds deal where they buy the team in Wales and it gets they get promoted at the very end of the season to another level, which is a big deal. You know, for some of these, you know, it's a
money making, like huge thing.
I mean, imagine if we had our own semi-pro team here in Kerrville. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you could easily. That's how it is in a lot of parts of the other world. The world.
Crazy.
So, all right, Janelle, what did you learn today?
That I need to investigate immediately how much the shingles vaccine is and get that sucker figured out.
Handle it.
Get it done.
Nice.
I'm going to do some inquiring about all of that.
Right. Yeah, it's important to get that done. And I'm going to tell you, it hurts for a couple of days, but I think it's worth it. And like I said, I was shocked at how they brought the needle. I thought that the COVID vaccine, they were like, oh, it's going to kick your butt. And it's like a little tiny needle, you know. This one's like, I thought it was going to be like, it was like a steroid shot. You know, they give you a steroid shot in your butt, and you're like, oh my God. And that's what it was like as well. I
just don't know which one you had.
I don't know either. I don't know anything. So,
this is what I learned today. So
all right.
We must do some homework.
Julie, what did you learn today?
I learned that Doug liked the name Bob and what's funny is in our car on the way there, we were all saying our names, and somebody in our car said Bob, but I cannot.
Bob.
I don't know that they wrote it down, but like that was a conversation we had, and we all kind of made a laugh about it.
I like the Gibosaurus.
Yeah.
That's a strong name. That's strong.
Well, that's what it is.
It is.
So.
Its name.
That's good.
And apparently I need a shingle shot.
You need a shingle shot.
Mm-hmm. I learned about soccer.
You learned
I
about
still don't
soccer?
understand it, but I learned.
You don't understand
Well, and I
any.
look at your numbers for mayor.
Yeah.
Coinciding
Yes.
with what I'm seeing, like that.
Yeah.
That was getting.
Hot tax is too far behind. You won't see that until next month.
That's good news, man. A lot of pressures out there. By the way, today's show was produced by a local blogger. This is a production of a local blogger. Warning. So, sorry, I had to throw it in there. Thanks a lot for joining us. Tomorrow, Libby on the Label will be here to talk about her things. I think Amy Goodyear will be here tomorrow.
Nice.
To talk about things going on at the
Neil Diamond stuff, I bet.
Neil Diamond. It's not. She has to correct me all the time.
It's not Neil Diamond.
It's not Neil Diamond,
Yeah.
Lewis.
Yeah.
And
It's Jack Wright.
Right. All right. Who do you like in the College World Series? Go.
Me?
Yeah. Do you like?
Give me choices.
Texas or Texas Tech?
Texas Tech.
All right.
I want the Longhorns to win, but I'm going Texas Tech.
All right. What do you say, Janelle?
Could there be two upsets?
Texas is going to be the favorite, but the Texas Tech's got the best
but
pitcher.
the men got kicked out, so maybe I want the girls to go the distance.
Yeah, maybe. All right.
Yeah.
All right. There
The
you
men
go.
did not beat UTSA,
Correct.
Yeah.
so maybe the girls should go the distance.
All right.
Okay.
First ever
Maybe.
national championship for Texas.
I'm just like I don't have a dog in that fight.
Yeah, I don't
Doug,
either.
Any,
but
any dog in the fight there for Texas or Texas Tech?
Just
No
pick
idea
one.
what you're even talking about.
Women's softball.
Women's softball.
Oh,
$1 million pitcher or UT?
underdog. Whoever's the underdog. I always go.
Texas
with the underdog.
Tech is the underdog. I think
They're the underdog?
Yeah, they're not even. This is their first
Then I
time
From
they've
a
ever been fought.
seeding perspective.
Okay.
Yes, they're the underdog.
I think it's them then.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a year of the underdog since UTSA just.
UTSA.
They need to go the distance with
Yeah.
it. They
Yeah.
can't go to California and lose. Though.
No, they got to beat UCLA. All right. Good job, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys again tomorrow. Have a great day.